From IPM News, I'm David Pierce. Voting is a rite of passage for many adults, but for those turning 18 ahead of the election, this is a new experience. From now until November 5th, I'll be checking in with first-time voters as part of our Voice of the Voters series.
Can I get an ILL? See, and Eliza, when I tell you that a lot of people are excited to be coming down here from past generations, some as far as 1970, sometimes the 1960, and connecting with students here today, it has just been an exciting time for people to be an alum, just like you and just like me. It seems like we got a race car. Wow. I spoke with the Teutopolis Fire Protection District, and they say that there still is an active scene and they're working as quickly as they can to clean it up, but they have to be careful given that there is a toxic chemical involved. And this is as close as that I'm allowed to get. And if you can look behind me, you can see that they have the trucks blocking off US Highway 40 so no one else can get close either. Drew Bagby is 19 and a dual student at both Parkland College in Champaign and the University of Illinois. He's already thinking about his first time voting, but hasn't made any decisions on the presidential race.
Definitely uncertainty. Like I said, not knowing what could happen for the next 4 years definitely is a scary thought.
Right now, he's concerned with the major party candidates, Democratic incumbent Joe Biden and Republican challenger former President Donald Trump.
But Donald Trump has been very outspoken in everything he said. Well, at the same time, President Biden's not also the best candidate. It's just a toss-up of choosing the best evil.
In 2020, Chioma Onyegbunam was not old enough to vote. She says she was relieved to not have had to choose between President Biden and Trump. But things are different now that she's 18 and a sophomore at the University of Illinois.
So I feel like it's kind of like my obligation as like a citizen to vote, just because if like 10,000 people had the mindset of they don't want to vote just because they don't like who's going to be potential president, then that is so many votes that could have impacted something.
According to the Center for Information and Research on Civic Learning and Engagement, key issues young voters are considering at the polls revolve around the economy, climate, and guns. Onyegbunam says she and her peers are turning to social media to help influence their stances on issues like those and ultimately how to vote.
People don't know what they don't know. So once you kind of educate people about what's going on, then they can like form their own opinions, and then you can from then you can kind of encourage people or nudge people to take some type of action towards a certain agenda.
In the past, families have allowed children to dig their hands in the bowl and have the kids take the candy out themselves. But now with RSV spreading, doctors are asking that families have a designated person to bring the candy out of the bowl and put it into the child's bag in a specific way. Pew also says that voters 30 and under made up more than a quarter of new and returning voters in the last election. That group also represented 15% of all voters. I'm David Pierce, IPM News. Upon opening in May of 2023, Chef Royce of Soul Prime says Lincoln Park residents didn't find soul food too appealing.
I was hearing through the grapevine from some of the residents here that they didn't know what soul food was, and I had soul food with 2 sides, and they didn't want 2 sides. They may not want any sides. And
Royce recalls business being so slow in the following months that on September 14th, she decided to close after only receiving 1 reservation.
It's going to take a lot of overhead to cover a couple people that may straggle in on that day. For me to have myself, if I could bring in somebody else in the kitchen to help me, to have my servers, to have lights on, to have my gas running, you know.
She texted her son saying how that was the best choice she could make at the time.
And I said, son, I'm drained. I'm mentally drained. I'm physically tired.
The next day, a guest alerted Royce that a well-known food critic was in town who has over 15 million followers on TikTok.
I got it. Let's try it. And rate it 1 through 10.
I dined with you August 19th, maybe it said. And for my birthday, I had an amazing time. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's a food critic in town. His name is Keith Lee.
That same guest and others tagged Soul Prime under his post. Royce followed through with an email, but she got no confirmation that he would show up. In the meantime, she prioritized walk-ins that day to make the best impression on guests and hopefully attract more.
I want to make sure these guys have the best experience that they could.
So she was shocked when she saw one of her dine-in plates walking out.
I said, Willie, why are people taking food outside? What's going on?
That plate was headed to Keith Lee, who was sitting outside, who had ordered several items, including the collard green dip, peach lemonade, and short rib tacos, giving her food a score as high as
9.2 out of 10.
Lee came into the restaurant that same day, and Royce says they had a conversation she'll never forget.
I had a stroke in 2019. They caused me to close my restaurant. So when I got better, I was like, you know, God, when is it gonna be my turn again?
To be 100% honest with you, you are why I do what I do.
Just to have him just to take me by the hand and say, let's pray. And it was just amazing. That moment right there was just the most profound moment of the evening of that day.
That video later received over 1.2 million likes. Lee posted another video this month mentioning Chicago as his number 3 favorite city to eat out of 8, while naming Soul Prime yet again. Now, months later, after his initial visit, Royce says the support is overflowing.
I have seen every culture imaginable.
David Pierce, Chicago Defender. Members of the Explore Post say that not only is the program a great entryway into protecting the community, but also to learn life skills.
Oh no!
That's Gianna Agron's reaction when she saw this. Drones slicing through the air as fast as 100 miles per hour at the Illinois Multi-Rotor Showcase. She says she felt like she was starting a game of Fortnite.
That was cool. It was like, I'm flying, but it's actually a drone, not me.
Her grandmother, Serena McGee, knows she loves to play games, so she feels bringing Gianna to the races helps her explore new avenues of technology.
So something different, get out, get focused, something more interesting than being stuck in the house all day.
According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, kids ages 8 to 18 spend about 7.5 hours in front of a screen for entertainment every day. While the sport may also require players to sit still, Vice President Michelle Meyer for Illinois Multi-Rotor says it gives an adrenaline rush.
And you're trying to pass each other around gates, and it's so close. That's when it really just gets your blood pumping.
Meyer says the skills young people can learn from drone racing can lead into career fields like computer science and engineering.
You know, when you have to fix something, you have to troubleshoot and figure out how to fix. It's really robotics stuff.
In the meantime, watching the drones makes Gianna feel
like I'm a bird. I don't know, and flying in air. Feel the breeze.